How will donor funding strategies change in 2021? This video is presented by Funds for NGOs. The year 2020 was one of the unique periods in recent human memory. It was long, lonely and full of uncertainty as we witnessed the coronavirus pandemic's outbreak. While poverty has only increased, a gamut of new social problems has affected people and communities. Millions have lost jobs, businesses have shut down, healthcare costs have significantly increased, the production levels have fallen. Mobility is severely restricted and social stigma has become rampant. The new year started with introducing the COVID-19 vaccine in many countries, and cautiously we are moving back to everyday life. The rapid changes in 2020 have modified our way of working, and we know the world is not the same anymore. NGOs and donor agencies also went through the shock and are now introspecting new ways to work for the communities. Their responsibilities have now increased more than ever as they need to address the unexpected challenges arising out of the pandemic. So how will the donor agencies address these problems? What strategies are they going to introduce in 2021? We will discuss all these points in this video. 1. Addressing the COVID-19 impact will be the #1 priority for most donors. It is apparent that all donor agencies, including bilateral, multilateral, foreign governments, aid organizations, private foundations and even individuals will place the pandemic as its top priority. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation announced the single most enormous contribution of $250 million to fight COVID-19. The United States Agency for International Development has made more than $1 billion available for combating COVID-19. Not only to slow down the spread of the virus but also to equip communities so that they can fight it effectively. USAID has been launching projects on hygiene and create information awareness campaigns to reduce the impact of COVID. UK aid committed £764 million last year to fight the pandemic. Looking at the trends, it is evident that NGOs will now be looked upon as partners to fight COVID. 2. Addressing COVID-19 will be a cross-cutting theme in projects. Addressing COVID-19 and its impact will not become a cross-cutting theme across all projects. Donor agencies will demand a special note on how COVID-19 will impact the project and the steps to reduce it. We will also observe a combination of issues with COVID to address the problem better. 3. Reduction of donor funding for non-health issues. While COVID takes the top position in the issues to be tackled with the donor funding, other problems, mainly non-health, will significantly reduce aid. This means that those donor agencies which considered issues related to human rights, education, social research, youth development, environmental protection or gender equality as a priority all these years will now allocate a significant portion of their resources to provide COVID relief to communities. 4. The emergence of new donors. As COVID has exposed the vulnerability of human life, it has led to new donors and funding types. Many private agencies and individuals have realized that they need to contribute to the life and welfare of humanity, and have started expressly participating in charitable programs to help suffering communities. Facebook launched its $100 million Small Business Grants program to provide funding to small businesses impacted by COVID. In May 2020, Google announced a $100 million contributions to COVID-19 relief. Private donors such as Jeff Bezos committed $125 million. 5. Funding for emergency relief. There will not be many large-scale interventions to address the long-term socio-economic impact of the COVID. Instead, donor funding will focus on improving the production and supply of COVID medicines. As vaccines have just been launched, resources will be allocated for ensuring its fair distribution, outreach and support for vaccinating the populations. The Gates Foundation's $750 million financings enable the rapid procurement of essential medical supplies, like tests, and helps companies finance the production of COVID-19 products for emerging countries. The UN Foundation, contributing towards the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund, has deployed the resources to speed personal protective equipment, testing kits, and other essential supplies to where they are most needed. Conduct research on potential COVID-19 treatments, diagnostics, and vaccines. Enable information about the virus to be shared. Support vulnerable populations with infection prevention control and other services. NGOs developing COVID-19 proposals should integrate solutions for providing emergency relief to those suffering from the COVID pandemic. And how the vaccination process will reach out to the poor and the vulnerable people. Like, comment, share and subscribe so you don't miss our future videos. Sign up to access more grants and resources.